a bezel-less flagship phone for less than $1,000. OnePlus, the company that's known for releasing flagship style specs and features similar to what we've seen on Apple and Samsung at pretty much half the price.
Yeah.
They are said to be releasing a new OnePlus 7 later this year. We're not exactly sure when, just based on their previous release dates. We know that the 6 was released in May of 2018, but then the previous release of their OnePlus 5 was released in June. So we're expecting that the OnePlus 7 will be May, June of 2019, which is coming up pretty quickly.
Now, there's a couple key features that are very important for 2019. Number one, you have to get rid of that notch or bezels. It has to be bezel-less. Number two, 5G.
Which is interesting because their CEO, Pete Lau, has said that they will be releasing one of the world's first 5G phones. And this is kind of strange because Samsung has already announced their 5G phone, but Pete Lau obviously wants to hop on the 5G bandwagon, I would say. And they're saying that they're going to release a 5G phone this year. We're not sure if the OnePlus 7 will be 5G compatible or if they release maybe a 5G variant and then a 4G variant when they release their 7s.
Now, the biggest concern with 5G is one, it's more expensive. It is new technology and it takes a lot of effort to develop it, and that will come with a price increase.
Exactly. So the OnePlus 6 started at $549 American. And the CEO we're expecting that the OnePlus 7, if it's not 5G compatible, will be at least that much money. But if it's 5G compatible, their CEO also stated that you can look for an increase in price between $200 and $300, bumping up to about $750 or $850 for a 5G compatible phone.
That's a lot more expensive.
But it's still less than $1,000, less than Apple's new phone, less than, I'm sure, Samsung's 5G phone when they release it later this year. So it's
Very
still
true.
mid-range price, but at that price, I'm not, depending on if you want to pay for that 5G compatibility, that's going to be up to you.
One of the biggest rumors alongside of this phone is that it's going to be bezel-less and notchless.
And it won't even have a cutout on the screen.
No. So they're going to be going away with a selfie camera on screen for a pop-up selfie camera.
We've seen similar models to this on the Oppo, I believe it's called, phone, where it pops. It's like a mechanism that pops up.
Yep.
But this one is just going to be kind of like a little bit chip that pops up where you have the selfie cam.
Like the Vivo Next.
Exactly. So you have that, and then I guess when you're not using it, it'll come down. So a leaked image we saw actually has a mechanism that's down, but there's a little bit of a protruding piece. I guess that's where the selfie cam goes.
Yes.
When it comes up.
So it's like a mechanized thing that pops up.
Personally, I am a little bit reluctant to have mechanisms for physical mechanisms in a device just because they're so much easier to malfunction if they do.
Yeah, and then you're going to be stuck without a selfie camera.
Or
Which would
maybe
suck.
stuck with it up.
You can always push it back down.
Yeah, I guess so. Also, when the company announced they were coming out with a 5G model this year, their prototype had a Snapdragon 855, which is Qualcomm's newest processor, but all the new flagship phones are heading in that direction. So that's kind of the standard for 2019. It is likely to have a glass back, which is the direction that a lot of flagship models are going with. In addition, RAM. This is something that we've seen a lot of flagship phones like Samsung come out with these massive devices with massive RAM. So we've seen 6, 8, and 10 gigabytes of RAM. The OnePlus 6, the previous model, had 8 gigabytes of RAM, and their McLaren edition actually had 10 gigabytes of RAM. So we're expecting the OnePlus 7 to have somewhere in that range. I think that's way too much RAM for a phone. I think you pretty much would only need maybe 5 maximum.
Well, that was all the rumors that we had for the OnePlus 7. If you want us to check out anything, let us know in the comments below.
And subscribe if you're new.